Welcome to a deep dive, into this world of visual AI, and it's pretty wild stuff.
Yeah,
We're talking AI that can understand images like better than some of the most advanced models
absolutely.
out there, and even better than humans sometimes. And specifically, we're going to be looking at Apple's AM models,
Yeah,
versions 1 and 2,
right.
and we're going straight to the source,
Okay,
their GitHub repository. You ready?
let's do it. I'm excited.
Okay, so these AM models are built on something called autoregressive models, which I gotta say,
Yeah,
sounds very technical.
it is, well, it sounds technical, but it's actually a pretty simple concept.
Okay.
At its core, think of it like predicting the next word in a sentence.
Okay.
But instead of words, it's understanding the elements of an image
Got it.
and how they relate to each other.
Okay, so it's not just recognizing a cat.
Right.
It's understanding that a cat is on a couch next to a lamp.
Exactly.
It's seeing the whole context.
It's not just recognizing objects in isolation, it's understanding the relationships between them.
And so in a way, that's how we see, too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like taking a step closer to how humans perceive the world.
So these models, they aren't just about recognizing objects.
Right.
They can connect images and text,
Yeah.
which is a whole other level.
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting. That's where we start to unlock a whole new range of possibilities.
So we've got AIM version 1 and version 2.
Right.
Let's start with version 1,
Sure.
just to give us a baseline. What's the deal with AIM v1?
So AIM v1 was a big step forward in computer vision,
Okay.
but AIM v2 is really where it's at.
Okay, so like a sequel that's actually better than the original.
Exactly. It takes everything from the first version and makes it even better.
I like it. So what makes AIM v2 so special?
One of the key things is that these models are trained with images and text at the same time.
Okay.
It's called a multimodal autoregressive objective.
Multimodal autoregressive objective.
Basically, they're learning to see and read simultaneously.
Interesting. So how does that multimodal training, how does that play out in what AIM v2 can actually do?
Okay, so imagine searching for images online.
Okay.
But instead of typing in keywords, you can describe exactly what you're looking for.
Okay.
Like a photo of a golden retriever puppy playing with a red ball in a park.
Wow.
AIM v2 can understand that complex description
Huh?
and find matching images.
So it's not just matching keywords. It's like it gets what you mean.
Exactly.
That's-
It's like having a search engine that actually understands the meaning behind your words.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and that's just one example.
Okay.
AIM v2 can also do things like generate accurate captions for images,
Uh-huh.
answer questions about what's happening in the picture,
Okay.
even follow complex instructions that involve both visual and textual cues.
So it's not just recognizing a dog. It's like understanding the dog on the left is chasing a frisbee.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
understanding the relationships between objects in a scene
Okay.
and how those relate to language. This is why it outperforms other models like CLIP and SIGLIP in tasks like image captioning or visual question answering.
So it's like acing all the visual AI tests?
Pretty much. It's setting new standards in the field.
So I've heard that AIM v2 is also setting new records on benchmarks
Yeah.
for object detection and referring expression comprehension.
That's right.
Can you explain what those are and why they matter?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine a self-driving car
Okay.
navigating a busy street. Object detection is its ability to identify everything in its path.
Okay.
Cars, pedestrians, traffic lights, and understand where they are.
Right.
It's crucial for safety
Yeah.
and for making sure the car makes the right decisions.
So object detection is like identifying and locating.
Exactly.
What about referring expression comprehension?
That's about understanding language that describes specific objects within an image.
Okay.
So for example, if I say, the red car parked next to the blue truck,
Okay.
the model needs to be able to pick out those exact vehicles based on their visual attributes
Right.
and their spatial relationships.
So it's like a visual treasure hunt using
Yeah.
clues.
I like that analogy.
It has to understand both the language and the image.
Yeah, it needs to connect language and vision to solve the puzzle.
And this is even outperforming Dino v2,
It is.
which was considered like a top performer.
Right, Dino v2 was a major breakthrough, but AIM v2 is taking it a step further.
That's incredible. So these benchmark results, they're really exciting.
Yeah, they are. They're showing that AIM v2 is capable of a level of visual understanding that we haven't really seen before in AI.
Yeah, it sounds like AIM v2 is pretty much dominating the visual AI scene.
It's definitely making waves.
But what about its accuracy?
Oh.
How well can it actually identify different objects?
So AIM v2 is achieving some really impressive accuracy scores. The AIM v2 3B model reached 89.5% accuracy on ImageNet.
ImageNet, that's like the ultimate visual AI test.
It's a massive data set.
And it's scoring almost 90%.
Yeah, it's a huge accomplishment.
That's wild.
And what's even more impressive is that it achieved this with a frozen trunk.
Frozen trunk.
Which means the core of the model wasn't even specifically fine-tuned for ImageNet.
Oh, wow.
It was able to achieve this accuracy using just the general knowledge it learned during pre-training.
So it's like a student who can ace a test in any subject without studying the material.
Exactly. It's a testament to the power and flexibility of this model.
Okay, AIM v2 is sounding pretty amazing.
It's definitely a game changer.
But you mentioned that Apple has made a range of pre-trained checkpoints available.
Yes.
For developers. Can you explain what those are?
Sure. Think of checkpoints like different versions of the model.
Okay.
Each trained to a different level of performance.
Uh-huh.
Some checkpoints are smaller and more efficient.
Okay.
So they're good for devices with limited computing power.
Got it.
Others are larger and more powerful,
Okay.
capable of handling more complex tasks.
So it's like choosing between a nimble sports car and a powerful truck.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. You choose the right tool for the job.
Depending on what you need it for.
Exactly.
Okay. And so if you're looking for like the best balance of efficiency and performance,
Right.
especially for multimodal,
Yeah, for those multimodal applications.
what does Apple recommend?
They recommend their distilled VT large model.
Distilled.
Yeah, it's like taking the essence of a larger, more complex model and condensing it
Right.
into a smaller, more manageable package.
So getting the same great flavor in a smaller, easier to handle bottle.
I like that analogy.
But let's be honest, most of our listeners aren't developers.
Right.
So what does all this mean for the average person? Why should they care about AIM v2?
Well, imagine a world where your phone can describe what's happening around you in real time.
Okay.
Or you can search for anything online using just natural language.
Uh-huh.
Or assistive technologies for visually impaired individuals can describe the world with incredible detail and accuracy.
Yeah.
These are just some of the possibilities that AIM v2 unlocks.
So it could change how we interact with the world.
Absolutely.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and that's just the beginning.
This is a lot to take in.
Yeah.
We've talked about autoregressive models,
Right.
the AIM family, multimodal understanding,
Yes.
incredible accuracy scores,
Yeah.
and all sorts of potential applications.
It's amazing to see how quickly this technology is evolving.
It is. I think we need to take a moment
Okay.
to catch our breath and digest all this.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Don't go anywhere, though. When we come back, we're going to explore some more of those potential applications and what they could mean for the future. See you in part 2.
Welcome back.
And we are ready to jump right back in to the world of AIM v2.
I'm excited to dive into some of those applications we touched on earlier.
Me too. I mean, we've established that this is really powerful technology.
Yeah.
But, like, how can it be used to solve actual problems?
Right.
How do we go from the theoretical to the practical here?
Well, the potential applications are pretty broad. You know, AIM v2 can connect images and text. It can understand complex visual scenes.
Yeah.
It can even recognize objects that it hasn't seen before. So that really opens up a whole new world.
So paint me a picture here. What are some concrete examples of how AIM v2 could actually be used in the real world?
One area where I think this could have a really significant impact is accessibility.
Okay.
So imagine assistive technologies that can describe the world to visually impaired individuals with a level of detail that we haven't seen before.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
What would that look like?
So AIM v2 could be the engine behind apps that can identify objects, but also understand their relationships and context. So instead of just saying, there's a dog, it could say, there's a dog running towards you on your left about 10 feet away.
Wow.
Or it could say, there's a table with a vase of flowers on it in the center of the room.
That would be life-changing for so many people.
Yeah, it's like giving them a whole new way to experience the world.
Exactly. What about education? Could this be used in education?
Absolutely. I think AIM v2 has the potential to revolutionize education. So imagine interactive textbooks that can actually answer your questions about images. Virtual museum tours that provide these really detailed explanations of artwork.
Yeah.
Personalized learning platforms that adapt to your visual learning style.
Interesting.
I think AIM v2 could really change the way we learn and interact with information.
I would love to see those history textbooks come to life, you know?
Yeah.
Not just showing us static images of historical events.
Right.
But explaining what's happening, who the key players are, the significance of that moment.
It'd be like having a personal historian or tour guide.
Right there with you.
Yeah.
What about creative industries? Could it be used there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Think about AI-powered tools that can help artists generate new ideas.
Okay.
Photographers to find like the perfect composition.
Mm-hmm.
Filmmakers create more immersive visual effects. AI in V2 could be this ultimate creative partner.
So it's not about replacing human creativity. It's about giving us new tools to work with.
It's about collaboration and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah, so you mentioned search earlier, but I'd love to dive a little bit deeper into how AI in V2 could change the way that we search for information online.
So imagine searching for images.
Okay.
But instead of typing in keywords,
Right.
you can use natural language descriptions.
Uh-huh.
Like a photo of a sunset over a mountain range with a lake in the foreground.
Wow.
AI in V2 could power search engines that really understand what you're looking for.
So no more scrolling through pages and pages.
Yeah, no more sifting through irrelevant results.
That would be a game changer.
Definitely.
What about robotics? I feel like AI that can understand images so well would be a huge step forward for robotics.
Absolutely. Robots equipped with AI in V2 could navigate complex environments so much easier.
Okay.
Interact with objects more intelligently. Even perform delicate tasks that require a very high level of precision.
Interesting.
You know, we could see robots working alongside humans in manufacturing and healthcare.
Yeah.
Even in our homes, assisting with everyday chores.
So we've talked about accessibility education, the creative industries.
Yeah.
Right.
Search robotics. What about its impact on the job market?
Yeah.
Could AI MV2 lead to job displacement?
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
And it's a valid concern. We need to be mindful of the potential impact on jobs.
Okay.
But I think AI is more likely to augment human capabilities than replace us entirely.
Okay.
It's more about collaboration.
Okay.
Where AI handles those repetitive, mundane tasks, freeing up humans to focus on more creative, strategic, and interpersonal aspects of work.
So it's not humans versus AI.
Oh, no.
It's humans working with AI.
Exactly. It's about using technology to make us better at what we do.
So we've talked about a lot of potential benefits here.
Yeah.
Is there anything that AI MV2 can't do? What are the limitations?
Well, it's still a relatively new technology, and it does require significant computing power and resources to train these models. And the performance of AI in V2 in the real world depends heavily on the quality and diversity of the data that it's trained on.
Yeah.
So there are definitely technical challenges to address. Makes sense.
As the technology continues to develop.
Yeah, it's important to have realistic expectations.
Right.
And to remember that this is still an evolving field.
Absolutely.
But even with those limitations, the potential is pretty remarkable.
It is. It's a really exciting time to be following this field.
This has been a fascinating look
at
the potential of AI in V2, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds.
Me too.
I think it's time for one more quick break.
Okay.
But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to wrap up our deep dive.
All right, and we are back for the final part of our deep dive into AI in V2.
We've really explored its capabilities and all these potential applications.
Yeah, it feels like we've only scratched the surface here.
I think that's true. There's so much more to uncover and discover with this technology.
Well, before we wrap things up, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what's next for AI in V2.
Yeah.
Where do you see this going in the future? That's what's so exciting about it. We're really just at the very beginning of what's possible with this visual AI.
Yeah.
As these models continue to evolve, we're going to see even more sophisticated and nuanced applications emerge.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, well, imagine a world where you can control your entire smart home just using your voice.
Okay.
Or where doctors can use AI to diagnose diseases, with incredible accuracy.
It sounds like science fiction.
It does, but it's closer than you might think.
So what about AI in V3? Any hints about what we can expect?
It's probably too early to say anything for sure.
Right.
But I'm sure Apple is working hard to push the limits of what's possible here.
Yeah.
I think we can expect to see, improvements in accuracy, efficiency, maybe even some new capabilities that we haven't even thought of yet.
It's incredible to think that what we consider cutting edge today could be like commonplace in a few years.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how quickly this technology is advancing.
Well, I think it's time to bring our deep dive to a close.
Yeah, it's been a really great conversation.
I agree. We've learned so much about AI in V2, about its potential and about this exciting future of visual AI.
Yeah, and I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to go out there and learn more about this.
I couldn't agree more. So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
See you on the next deep dive.